Hello, welcome to my house and welcome to my channel. I'm Laura Cepeda and I'm very happy to have all of you this Saturday with me. Thank you so much, first of all, for watching this video with me and for choosing to spend this day with me. Today I'm going to show you how we can make these socks. But I'm going to show you how you can make it for your babies and for your kids, but also for your own. I will teach you how you can make these socks in different sizes. Well, first, I will give you the material list and then the step by step, and let's don't lose more time. Let's start right away. Well, the best part of these socks is that you can use yarn that you have there for previous projects. We are going to need a fine material and we are going to use a crochet hook of number 3. In this case, I'm going to use a baby material that I have from a previous project. Remember that if you want to buy and use the same materials that I use in all my videos, you can visit my online store www.lauracepeda.es. Well, let's start here. I already get ahead and I made this one using big in the top, in the tip of the toe, and in the heel. I will show you now this time using a different color. Remember that you can mix and you can create your own combination, and this will be the easiest and simple way to make a sock. We will start here in the tip of the toe. And also from here I will tell you how we are going to make it for a bigger size, okay? But we will always start with a magic ring like this. So we will take the loop and we will go up with 3 chains. 1, 2, and 3. And then here inside we are going to make 10 double crochets of 2 crochets, remember, like this, using the same color and 1 thread. So here we have 3,
4, 5, 6, 7, 8,
9, and 10. So let's count them. Remember that we are going to take the first chains that we made at the beginning as 1. Yes, 10, right? So once we have this 10, we are going to pull this thread like this, very tight, and now we are going to close in circle. We are going to slip 1 like this. We are going to insert our hook here and slip 1. Once we have this, we are going to make a knot here. Sometimes you can continue like this, but I suggest that you make this knot to make sure that this won't undo. I don't know, this makes me feel more comfortable knowing that I made this knot. So it's important that you do it. Well, once we have this, we will go up with 3 chains, and now we are going to make 2 stitches inside 1 stitch to increase. But here I'm going to continue right in the next one. Okay, so I'm going to slip 1, and here I'm going to go up with 3 chains, and then here in the same stitch we are going to make a double crochet, remember, of 2 crochets, and we are going to start making 2 in each stitch. Remember that you can take also the thread that we left behind, and while we are making this we can hide it through our project. Well, remember that we started with 10 double crochets. Now that we are making 2 in each one, at the end we must have 20 double crochets. Well, let's continue like this, making 2 in each stitch. Well, here I finished. I already count and I make sure that I have 20 stitches. It's very important before we continue, okay? So please make sure. At the end we will close in circle. We are going to slip 1. Well, now this step is very important, because if you want to make this sock for a bigger or for a small size, for example, if you want to make this sock for a small size than this one, for example, this sock that I made, it's from a 6-month-old to a year-old. Look at this, it can be perfectly fit in my hand. But if you want to make this sock small, well, you can stop here. with these rows and then continue with the next steps. But like I want to make this pair of socks, I want to make them both at the same size. So I'm going to make one row more using this color, and then I will continue with the next rows, okay? So we will go up with 3 chains, and like this at the end we will have 4 rows for a sock like this side. If you want to make this sock for a bigger size, well, here you are going to increase more rows. First we will make 2 stitches in the first stitch together, then 1, then 2 together, then 1 and 2 together, and like this. Remember that it will depend according to the size that you want to make this sock. If you want to make for a bigger size, well, you are going to make 6 rows or 8 rows like this. But well, at the end of this row, we must have 30. So see you when I finished. Well, look, here I finished with the 30 stitches. I'm going to slip one and I'm going to stop here because I want this sock for a small size, remember. This is for a 6 or 1-year-old sock. But well, if you want to continue making more rows, in the next row you must make 2 singles and 1 double, 2 singles and 1 double. And if you want to continue making more rows, well, the next row you are going to make 3 single, 1 double, 3 single, 1 double. So for a bigger size we are going to increase the singles. Well, I will tell you the centimeters of my sock. So it measures 9 centimeters and half. So this is the side of the size of the sock that I'm making. So if you wanted it smaller, you should only make 2 rows and then continue with the rest. And you should have into account that you are going to continue with the same number of stitches. For example, here I finished with 30 stitches and I'm going to continue making 5 rows with 30 stitches. But now I'm going to use a different color. But before we close the last row, we are going to change color here because we should slip using the new color. So this is how we are going to make the transition, like this. And once we have these 2 threads, we are going to make a knot. Remember that I always want to make sure that this won't undo and that my brick will be perfect. So I'm going to make this knot, and then while I'm making the next rows, I can hide these threads. So we will go up with 3 chains, and with the same number of stitches that we finish, we are going to continue making the rest. Now we are going to take only the back part of the chain. We are going to make rivet stitch. As you can see, look how I take the stitch like this, and then double crochet. Again, I will do it again so you can see how it is. Here's where I'm going to insert my hook, and I'm going to continue making rivet stitch. Remember that if I finish with 30 stitches, I must have 30 stitches at the end. And as you can see, while I'm making this, I'm taking the other threads so I can hide them. So we are going to continue like this, making rivet stitch so we can create this beautiful pleat. Well, at the end of the row, I'm going to slip one to close. Then I will go up with 3 chains, 1, 2, and 3, and then I'm going to continue making rivet stitch. Like this, we are going to continue for 4 rows more. So at the end, we must have 4 rows, remember, of 30 stitches. Always make sure that you have 30 stitches. So let's continue. Well, here I finished the 5 rows, and once you have the rows that you need for the size that you are making, well, we are going to continue with the next one. The heel, we are going to crochet it separately. Okay, so we will leave it like that. For now, we are going to continue with the rest. So if we finish with 30 stitches, we are going to make the half of these stitches. For example, here I have 30 stitches, the half of these stitches is 15. So I'm going to make 15 chains. Here I have 14 and 15. Well, once you have your chains, we are going to count also the stitches here. So here we have 10, okay, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. Make a single crochet, then we will go up with 3 chains, 1, 2, and 3. And now over this chain that we made is how we are going to continue. Interesting, right? But for now we are going to continue with the rest of the row, and when we continue with the row all around it, we are going to take these chains. I will show you. So now let's continue making a double crochet. Remember, taking the back part of the chain, we are going to make a rib stitch. And I will stop to show you how I took the stitch, because it's very important that you take it like this. So as you can see, like leaning a little bit, but well, we are going to continue until we stop here, and see you there. Well, here I already count and I have 15 stitches, okay? So now I'm going to continue making the rest over the chain that we made. And I must finish with 30 stitches because are the stitches that I started with. If you make 40, 60, you must have at the end the same number. And I suggest that you always make a pair of numbers. We are also going to continue with the rib stitch. So it's important that you see where I insert my hook. So we are going to make 1 in each stitch. For now, we are not going to increase anymore. Remember to count your stitches every time you finish one row to make sure that you have the same number of stitches. If not, well, you can fix it. You can repeat the row, but you have to make sure that you are making your project correct, because at the end, this is what it's going to look beautiful. Okay? Also, if you need to make more rows to make this more bigger, for a bigger size, well, you are going to continue making more rows, and then once you are sure that you are making this for the size that you want, well, you are going to continue with this step. Well, I think that the ones I'm making are standard size, but please always make sure try to fit this sock to the person you are making this, so it will be perfect. Remember that also it's very important that according to the yarn that you are using, it will be the size. But the important thing is that you use this technique, and it doesn't matter if you are using a more fine material or more chunky material. The important thing is that you learn this technique and that you use it. I think it's very simple, and this is the easiest way to make this. At the end of the row, we are just going to slip one like this, and then we will go up. Then we will go up with 3 chains, and we are going to continue like this for 4 rows more. Well, at the end you can make the elastic stitch, or you can make a different stitch. And remember that this is an idea you can create by your own, or you can continue with the same stitch, and at the end you can put a ribbon or a small detail. But for now, let's continue. I finished the 4 rows that I told you. Remember that this is for this size. If you need to make more, well, you should make more according to the size you are making this. For now, I'm going to stop here, and I'm going to continue with the elastic stitch. I will show you how. Since we are going up, we are going backwards. We are going to take the stitch in relief like this. And then we will go up with 3 chains. Then we will continue with the next one, taking the stitch in relief and double crochet. We will take 1 from the back and then 1 from the front, like this. I will do it slowly so you can see how it is. This is basically the elastic stitch using your hook. Here in this part I will use this stitch, but you can use the stitch that you want. This is just an idea, but if you want, you can make a shell stitch or a popcorn stitch. Maybe it will look amazing, I think, with that stitch too. So the secret of this stitch is that we are going to take one from the back and one from the front. And like this is how we are going to continue all around this row. And basically we are making double crochets, but in relief, taking one from the back, taking one from the front. And remember that we are going to continue with the same number. If we finish with 30, well, we must have 32, okay? So let's continue and see you when I finish this row. Well, at the end of the row, we are going to slip one to close, and right away, we are going to insert our hook like this. To continue, we will go up with 3 chains, and we are going to continue with the stitch as it goes, okay? And we are going to make like this, and let me see. So for example, here I made 1, 2, 3, and 4 rows, so here I want to make 4 rows more too. Well, look, here I finished the 4 rows. Now I'm going to cut the thread and hide this thread. Okay, now let's continue with the heel. And well, I hope that both are in the same size, because sometimes we crochet more tight or more loose, but it will depend. So we will try to make this pair of socks the same, and this thread we are going to hide it through all this project. Now we will continue with the heel. I'm going to use this color. You can change color here also, you can make your own combinations, but well, here's where I'm going to start. I'm going to insert my hook here, taking both parts of the chain, and here's where I'm going to take the stitch. Make a knot, and we are going to make a single crochet row. Remember, while we are making this, we can hide the thread. So first take the stitch, make a loop, and then we are going to make one single crochet in each stitch. So this is how we are going to continue for the rest of the row, and see you when you arrive where we start. Okay, so let's continue making this single crochet row. Well, I want to explain this because here where is this split we may create some confusion, but we are going to continue like this. Remember that at the end we must have 30 stitches to 30 single crochets. But well, let's continue. Well, at the end of the row we won't close in circle, okay? So we will continue right away in spiral, and we will insert our hook in the first stitch, and then we will continue with single crochet 2. And we are going to make the single crochet taking the both parts of the chain, okay? We will stop making rev stitch. Well, this is my point of view. You want to continue using rev stitch, you can use it. But I want to make this stitch a little bit more tight, so that's why I'm going to continue and making single crochet but taking both parts of the chain. I want to arrive where we have the pleat, so I can teach you how we are going to continue. Remember that here row is the pleat, it's also where we started, and some stitches early we will make something. So look, here we arrive. So here is the pleat. Now one stitch before we are going to make this, we are going to reduce a little bit. So here I'm going to grab 1, grab 2, grab 3, and then once we have 1 stitch, 2 stitch, and 3 stitch, look, I'm going to bring them through in 1, and then I'm going to continue without closing the row. I'm going to continue in spiral making single crochet. And the same what we made here, we are going to repeat it in the other pleat. As you can see, you can make how it's looking. Well, look, here I'm finishing the row, and you have to calculate where we are going to put this stitch all in one. So for example, here I can see that I still can make 2 more, and then here I'm going to take 1, 2, and 3, and I will bring all of this in one stitch to make this pleat that we are going to create here in the heel. Then I'm going to continue, remember, without closing the row. Now we will continue where is the other pleat. So see you there. So look, here I am one stitch early. So here I have a big hole, as you can see. So here I have 1, 2, and 3. And then I will bring all of this in one stitch. So here's where I make the reduction. And we are going to make the same in the other side. Remember that we will take this stitch, this big hole, as a reference. So we will take this one in the middle and the next one to make the reduction. Well, look, I continue making the same, and this is how it looks when you have more stitches. You have to count how many rows you made to make the same number of rows in the other pair, okay? I already count how many rows I made. I made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 rows. Look, this is how we are going to continue. We will take the stitch inside like this. Well, first we are going to cut a long thread. So look, I'm going to take the stitch from inside. I'm going to pass through this thread, through this hole, and I'm going to take it here in the wrong side like this. So here's where I'm going to hide and bind off my sock like this. Well, I'm going to take the stitch in this side and I'm going to slip. I think I'm going to slip 2 so we can close the sock and we won't create any pleat like this. So it will look perfect. But now we cut, and now here inside we are going to hide all of these threads with our hook. And like this is how we finish this beautiful sock. Remember to hide all the loosened threads that we have. I promise that this is the simple and easy technique that you can use to make a pair of socks. Remember, I teach you how you can make this for a bigger size. I suggest that you try on and take the measurements because sometimes you crochet more tight or more loose. So I suggest that you should take as a reference this side and of your feet. I mean, take the measurements of the feet that you are making this sock, and well, you can take this as a reference and you can make it and it will fit perfectly. Remember that you can put details, you can make a list maybe like here all around the ankle, and you can make different combinations using different materials too, and you can make this pair of socks for all the family. Remember that I teach you how you can make this for a bigger size. So you just have to follow the instructions. Here I will leave the video, and if you have any other question, well, please let me know. And with this we finish. I hope that you like this video. Well, so what do you think? I tried to teach you the easiest and simple way that you can make a pair of socks for all the family. I hope that you have enjoyed making this video with me. Thank you so much for deciding to spend this day with me. It means a lot. Remember, don't forget to follow me on my social media. I love to see all your pictures that you send me. Thank you so much for also take the time to leave me a comment. Please don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to follow me in all my social media, in Instagram, Facebook, and Pinterest. And don't forget to miss the special content, here in my stories, in my YouTube stories. And well, see you the next Wednesday, like every Wednesday. And if I can, the next Saturday, I will make everything to upload a video, so you can have more content and you can find more videos to watch and you can create more beautiful things with me. Well, thank you so much, and don't forget to subscribe. Bye, and see you the next Wednesday.